Hello there, good to see you and thank you for clicking. Now on this video it's all about by age 35, these are three magical things that you ought to have achieved. These are the things that you're supposed to have them by the time you're clocking the 35 years of age. And by the way, I know you know something magical about 35 years of age. All what you need to do to understand exactly what are these secretive three things that you're supposed to achieve, you need to relax, sit back and watch this video to the end for you to understand fully about it. And guess what? Each and every day, I always come here and post a new video about investment, making money, be it either online, conventional way, and other best and better way of investing your cash. If you don't want to miss any of my future good videos, do this. By the way, it doesn't cost you anything. It is free of charge. Down below there on your right, there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, like this video, turn that notification bell. And guess what? By only doing that, you get to be notified whenever I upload a new good video. All right? Have you done so? All right, thank you for doing so. Leon, let's get into today's business. Now, by age 35, there's something magical you should know about it. All right? It is the age now you transition from being a youth to being a young, I don't want to use the term adult because you've already been an adult all the way from 18 years. But by the time you're clicking that 5 years of age, even the government itself doesn't recognize you as a young person, doesn't recognize you as a youth. It recognizes you as an young age of old, all right? And these are the three things that you ought to have achieved, all right? Let's get into the board. Number one, you're supposed to exude something called the aura of confidence and not being a people pleaser. Let me explain that point. By the time you're clocking that 5 years, already you must have seen a lot of things. You have a lot of experiences stretching all the way from social experiences, financial experiences, investments, discouragement, heartbreaks, and all those kind of things. Now, by the time you're clocking this age, you already have amassed yourself a good enough experience. And that's why we always say, by the time if you're at 20s, you're supposed to be trying different things. So by the time you're clocking your 35, you've already known some things. Now, at this particular time, you're exuding an aura of confidence, all right? Meaning, whenever you want to talk about something, you must have done a research about it. This is not an age whereby you just throw words just because you've had something, you cannot authenticate it. It's an age that you're supposed to back your argument, back your understanding, and you already know, hey, guess what? There is a guy behind me that I'm actually following, somebody who is teaching me something to do either with finance, to do with either spirituality, to do things with social and all those kind of things. Guys, forgive me for my code, okay? Now, at this particular age, you're supposed to actually being out there, not being up as a people pleaser. At this particular age, it's not a must you say something and get understood by majority of the people. Because what you realize is that there is a certain age where you really minded or you are minding about how people perceive you. Sometimes when you make a mistake, or rather not really a mistake, but when you make a statement, and sometimes it's not pleasing to some of the people, some of them may be your friends or your relatives or what have you. You're really having a very hard time to explain yourself exactly what you meant by that statement. But by the time you're clocking this age, it's not really a must that you have to be understood by people, provided you're not rude to your people, provided you have all the you have all the respect to all of them, then it's not a must that you get understood by them. So you're supposed to exude that aura of confidence, explaining to people, hey, you know what, guys, when you stand before people and you're telling them investing on shares is a better way to go, then you already know, you've done your research. It's not a must. It's not a thing that you just come and tell people and then you cannot even authenticate your information. So at this particular age, of course, it's expected of you to make a very conscious decision. You already know one thing, that, hey, wealth is an intentional way of creating it. It doesn't come out of nowhere. And again, it's not an event. It's always a process, meaning that you're supposed to, make some A or B move here and there for you to actually do 1, 2, 3, so that you can be able to amass that wealth that you've been looking for. If you're a teenager, it's okay. It's understood for you, or it can be understood, because at that particular age, you're thinking of wealth is just a snap of fingers and then you get it and that kind of things. All right. So in a nutshell, you're supposed to exude an aura of confidence in anything and everything that you're doing out there. All right. Let's go to the point number 2. And the point number 2 is that you're supposed to understand that a job cannot make you rich. That's a fact. And guess what? By the way, I do have a feeling or a thinking that job is a substitution of a slavery that was back there. Because what they give you in a job is quite enough to sustain yourself by paying your rent, by paying your bills, the utilities, the water, the electricity, paying for your food and probably your school fees if you have a family or something of sort. And then from there, you are confined on that cocoon, meaning that you have to show up each each and every day. At the end of the month, you're promised a salary. Of course, you are being given that salary. And then by the time you realize yourself, you're clocking 40, 50, 60, there you are, retirement has come. You've only acquired like 2 million Kenyan shillings for your retirement. And you have never done any business. You do not know how to invest and where to invest. Because sometimes I usually receive calls from guys who are about to go to retire or have actually gone to a retire. They tell me, hey, Joseph, I got myself 1.8 million somewhere. I've never done any investment. I do not know how business goes and all those kind of things. And you see this person is so much, what do you call it? He has that passion about starting that business, but they do not have, the time is not on their side. They do not have the relevant experience concerning that specific thing. So what I can say is this: one thing you're supposed to understand as early as this, way before you even reach this age, you're supposed to understand that salary has never, ever made anybody wealthy or rich. What you need to do is to actually try as much as you can two ways: either live below your means, or number two, increase your income so that you can create surplus, invest that surplus, create another a stream of income, so that at least you can supplement what you're getting from the mainstream. And then from there, that's how you build your wealth pole pole. All right. Pole pole means like, time by time, all right? So the point is that after all the occasion, you're supposed to understand, it is good to make sure that at least you have this understanding. This is an information that you rarely get shared out there, because from the parents who are telling us, hey, after school, look for a job, get for a job, it's secured, it's safe, all those kind of things. And I always ask myself, well, you do say that job is big, it's a secured way of actually earning your income. It is true, it's secured, but now you're working from somebody's investment. You're working from somebody who had all the guts to start that specific business, and that's why you're riding on their titties of their hard work. Then why can't you reciprocate that and do exactly that what they're doing? Because let me tell you one secret: by the time you're being paid, let's say 50,000 at the end of the month, you ought to have made 3 times of that. If they give you 50,000 at the end of the month, you've made them 150 Gs at the end of the month. And that's why those bosses and managers and what have you, those guys that you hate, they never worry about the things that you worry. On January, maybe after you going the Christmas day and all those holidays and what have you, by the time now you're coming back January and you're claiming how hot it is and now those cash crunches and what have you, they're actually in where you people you are paying at a very hefty price. They're now giving it at a discount. They're now enjoying themselves, and there you are hating them on all those kind of things. So the point is this: understand one thing, that salary has never made someone rich. All what you need to do is plan yourself, make sure that you live below your means. And sometimes I usually get worried when I see, especially young guys, some of them are actually above this age, and you find them that they're funding things that are not really so necessary, and they're things that actually are not even making them money in one way or the other. You get worried. Yeah, I understand I should not put my nose on to people's business, but I know there is another set of people who would love to get themselves in a right track, but they do not have information. That's why I always come here, make this kind of videos, so that at least you can understand what not to and what to do when it comes to business. And let me tell you one secret. And I always tell people, it's not a must that you look wealthy. It's not. The whole point is not you looking rich. The point is you being wealthy. And I always tell people, don't train in one way or the other trying to explain to people that you actually have money. Don't. I mean, seriously, just don't, all right? Just do your thing out there and actually invest in areas that you know are far much better to you and not to some other people again, all right? And the last one, but not the least, it's about financial literacy. And let me tell you one secret. This is the thing that you ought to have gotten in it. And by the way, even before you hit this 35 years, you're supposed to understand something called financial literacy. And the most shocking thing is that this thing is not even taught in school. It's not offered on the mainstream, what we call the education. And I worry, because at the end of the day, it all ends up in money. They're teaching you or they're educating you to secure a job, to get money. I wonder why we do not have a unit or a syllabus that actually cover that specific thing. It's quite necessary. What is it? Maybe if I can give you in a nutshell. What we talk about investment, or rather financial literacy, is you understanding how money works and what it is. Because if you do not understand what you work for, then at the end of the day, to retain it is where the difference is being brought. And let me tell you one secret. What defines a successful individual is not how much they make at the end of the day, month, or week, or whatever the time that you've been given your money. What brings a difference between a wealthy person and another person is that how much are you able to retain? Because you can be making 100 Gs at the end of the month, but you only have the capability of retaining 15,000. Somebody else is being paid 50,000, is able to save around 16,000 out of that. So at the end of the day, we would define the 50,000 one salaried as a successful compared to you, because you do not have that ability to retain. Because the ability to retain and to grow. That what brings a difference between person A and person B. And again, let me tell you one secret. Again, if you just save your money, that does not bring any difference. All right, because say I was giving an example of somebody who is earning 100 Gs is able to retain 15. Somebody who is earning 40 Gs is able to retain 16. Then at the end of the day, it means somebody who is earning 50 is already able to do something greater than the one who is doing the 100 Gs salary. So at that particular point, they have all managed the aspect of the ability to retain. Now, what brings a difference between now person A and B on a further one is that are you now able to actually grow that what you've retained? Because the point is not retaining it, but growing it. Okay? So once you now have the capability of growing that 16 Gs that you've been putting aside each and every month, now that what makes you financially free. And those are the things that, let me tell you one secret. They're the things that you cannot be able to brush off. It's a thing, you know, it's like the truth. It's like saying, I'm not a human, I identify myself. All right, I don't want to go to that area, but the point is this. It is the truth. You cannot twist it. It is the truth, and it has to be like that. So the point is, have that capability of understanding what is money, how it functions, and all those kind of things. I've been sharing all my videos. There's something I never leave behind, telling you that money is sacred, and there is a sacred language that money understands, and that is the budgeting. All right, budgeting, understanding that, hey, you know what, money cannot just show up in your doorstep, and you do not have a way that money or route that money should follow. And I find a lot of people, they have the visions, they know where they want to go, but they do not know exactly how to go there. So having yourself a budget, actually, that defines you an ability to actually go ahead and invest that amount of money out there. So anyway, you know what, guys, that marks the end of my video. But the point is this: make sure that at least you understand one thing or the other. It's all about having that an aura of confidence when you hit that age. Number two, make sure that you understand that money or rather salary cannot, has never, and will never make anybody rich out there. Maybe unless you're a politician. And I know you know what I mean by that. And the last one, but not the least, is about having the financially literate or financially literacy that is required for you to understand exactly, hey, I'm earning this amount of money, I should set aside this amount of money, a certain period of time, I get that money, invest that money, I make another stream of income, supplement what I have, and that's now how, that is the route to becoming a financially free. In the process of you becoming a financially free, then you come to a point whereby now you can say I've created wealth. Anyway, guess what? I am not promising that all these things are easy. It's not easy. It's all about, if it's easy, then everyone will be doing it. And that's why you find very few number of people in our society are actually successful, because applying these all formulas that I'm telling you, it's not a simple thing. It's not a walk on the park. It's a thing that requires dedication, sacrifice, consistency, discipline, and all those kind of things. All right. And that may not be some of the majority of you cups of coffee, but it is doable. Let's meet at the end. All right. Anyway, guys, guess what? You can grab my number from the description of this specific video. Give me a call. I offer services pertaining to finance, investment, business ideas. If you're outside Kenya, you're wondering where areas or what areas can you invest. If you're within Kenya as well, we talk about areas where you can invest and all those kind of things. If you have a problem managing your money, I am here for you. I offer those services. And guess what? For just a cup of coffee only. All right, grab that number of mine from the description of this video. Give me a call or a text. We have the conversation. Don't forget as well, I got myself booklets about investments. I also, by the way, have a full book about personal finance and how you're supposed to manage your money. I have booklets about shares, where you can invest, money market fund, treasury bills, treasury bonds, and all those kind of things. All right, so if you'd like to get any copy of that, it's only $280. Grab that number, give me a text or a call. We get started. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.